Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. First off, I want to thank everybody for attending our first lead training webinar of the new year of 2017. We couldn't be any more excited. We made some great changes to the program, and we think you'll be very excited. If you haven't used the program yet, we have some great stuff to come. If you have used our lead program last year, let's say, we're going to talk about some new material, new changes, some new tips that I think will be very useful for you. So no matter what your situation is with Levinson right now, brand new to the program or not, everybody will walk away with some great tidbits to help change your business for the better in 2017. On today's webinar, we have Joseph Loughran, our Marketing Vice President, and then, of course, we have two special guest speakers who we are very delighted to have join us. The first one is the actual lead program creator, Stephen, who is going to dive into the program a little bit. We're going to ask him some questions, and we'll have some dialogue with Stephen. And then, of course, our very successful Levinson agent, Ken, all the way from Texas, who really is joining us on today's call out of the goodness of his heart, just wanting to help out Levinson and, of course, help our agents that are out in the field using this program every day. So we're delighted to have both our guest speakers join us on today's call. And really the name of the game with today's presentation is we want our agents to hear from a real-life agent who's out there in the street pitching the program and trying to sell mortgage protection insurance day in and day out. So I think it's great that you can hear from a real street agent. So we appreciate him taking the time. And Stephen, of course, is going to give you the 100-foot overview and how he's been very successful over the years using the program, and now he's kind of taken a step back and he's offering the program to all of our agents. So we appreciate him taking his time as well. So before we jump in, as you know, we try to make every year, and in fact every presentation, bigger and better for our agents. We want to bring more to the table in 2017 than we have ever done in the past. And we feel that it's our job to go out and get you the best lead programs, technology, sales support, products, carriers. It's our job to do everything in the back office or in the back scene, if you will. And it's your job to go out there and make it happen and make the actual sale. So with that said, we have to look at what we're doing every day and say, you know, how can we help our agents be able to share their story, right? I mean, that's the whole name of the game. If we all look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you know, let's be honest, we have to share the story, and we have to do a great job and be positive and energetic and make sure the message comes across the right way. Because if it does, and the prospect buys into what you're saying, then ultimately you'll have a sale. So it's very important that our agents understand that we are out there making this stuff happen, putting together the missing pieces so you can be more productive. And that's, you fast forward, that's why we have the iGenius sales platform. The iGenius turnkey platform is a bunch of different bullets, technology, websites, CRM tools, basically everything that you need to be productive so you don't have to go out there and figure out what the latest hot product is, what's going on with the DOL, how do I create a new agent website, how do I build in lead capture, and what's this CRM tool mean? I don't even know how to spell a CRM tool. We're doing that all for you, okay? And that's our job day in and day out. And our promise to you is we're going to make things bigger and better, and the proof is in the pudding. So with that said, we have some great stuff, a new addition I'm going to just talk about for 1 second, and then we'll move forward. Great new stuff for this year, and one is we have hired a consultant that is going to be our guest speaker. We're going to have a series of 3 training webinars, okay? And his name, if you want it, you can even Google him if you want, Todd Ewing. And and I'll just tell you real quick, I'm going to mention a few bullets. He is responsible, one person, for building Transamerica's direct-to-consumer channel, which created $30 million of premium in the last 2 years. He also single-handedly grew SelectQuote, who we all have heard of. They sell direct-to-consumer online, to become the largest life direct marketer in the U.S. Okay, he is unbelievable when it comes to selling over the phone using e-apps, which is exactly what we all need to do, especially with the Mortgage Lead Protection Program. So you're going to see an invite coming out next week, which is going to show you the next 3 dates, and he's going to run a series of 3 different webinars, and by the time you're done with this series of 3, you will be a selling professional over the phone using e-apps, and you will be killing it because the guy is amazing, a great presenter, and if everything works out well, we're going to have him be a guest speaker at our live Agent Expo here on March 31st. But you'll hear his name, Todd Ewing. We, like I said, brought him in as a consultant to host our next 3 training webinars. So make sure you keep your eyes out for that email. It will have an invite with all 3 dates. You don't want to miss that. Okay, it's 3 total hours of complete selling over the phone series. Okay, with that said, on today's presentation, we're giving away a free tablet at the end of today's call to the 100th registrant. We're also giving away a free batch of leads, which is about $150 value, to the 150th registrant. We're giving away both items to 2 different agents at the end of today's call. So great stuff. We also appreciate Stephen for giving out the free batch of leads, so thank you to him. And let's move forward here. We're going to dive into the exclusive Mortgage Protection Lead Program with Levinson and Associates. Okay, first off, and I'm just going to mention a few bullets here and kind of an outline of the program. First of all, no shared leads. Okay, that question comes up all the time. These are 100% exclusive to you. Now, that doesn't mean that particular prospect didn't fill out multiple mortgage protection cards, but what that means is this lead, okay? So the card that this person filled out only goes to you. Minimum order is 14 leads, okay? And these lead orders are placed weekly. Very simply put, you will receive an email every Monday. You have to get your order in before the close of business on Monday. You will receive your leads by Tuesday before closing, okay? And that's guaranteed. So within 24 hours, all of your leads will be emailed to you. And what's so great here is even at the minimum order of 14 leads, you get 2 free leads with every batch, no questions asked. Okay, so that's just a nice way of Steve saying, hey, thanks for the business. Let's say you have one person that maybe doesn't answer the phone or maybe keeps putting you to voicemail. Well, you get 2 free leads to make up for anything that doesn't go just right. And as you can see there, the lead orders are 14, 17, and 20. And depending on how many leads you order, you're going to get 2, 3, or 4 leads free. And then, of course, the pricing stays the same at $18 per lead. No minimum order. In other words, if you want to try this out just one time, no problem. We don't keep charging your credit card. It doesn't work like that. This isn't one of these internet lead companies that literally are that fly by the seat of their pants. This is we actually do all of the charging. We're the only ones that see your credit card information, so you don't have to worry about anything. You can try it out once, or you can participate every week like Kent does. So totally up to you. Most important, on the bottom, all leads, okay, that are sent to you, any business that gets generated from that batch of leads must get placed back through Levinson and Associates. And there is a spot check program. So if you don't follow that protocol, you are simply kicked out of the program. And we hope, and we never had a problem before, we hope that you really do the right thing, because for every agent that participates, it actually costs us money to have you participate. So the only way that obviously we get back those funds, and the only way that we can pay for our overhead and all of our support and tools and technology, is we are assuming all business is going to come back through us. If there's a product that you don't see, or let's say maybe it's an annuity sale that comes from this, or critical illness or cancer policy, whatever the case is, call any of our marketers. We're here to help you find that right product for the client. The only thing we don't do is variable life and annuity and standalone health. Anything other than that, we have covered. So there's really no reason. Plus, with our cash for contracting incentive, you're going to get paid either the same or more. 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get a higher commission, and anywhere from $100 to $400 with your first app if you move a contract. That's above and beyond the better commission level. So there's no reason to not place the business back through Levinson. Okay, and I hope everyone understands, and I didn't come across a little too harsh there, but it's very important that anything gets placed back through Levinson. Okay, let's dive right in here to the fun stuff. We're going to start off with our two special guest speakers. The first one is Stephen, who happens, this isn't just some guy that we found on the internet that said, hey, we sell leads. Stephen happens to be a close friend of myself and my family for many, many years. In fact, he was in the business way before I was in the business, and he created a program over the years and has used it with his agency in a very successful way. And of course, lately he's, I won't insult him in any way, but things are slowing down for him a little bit as far as sales. And he's made the program available to our agents a few years ago. So we really appreciate Stephen making this available to the Levinson agents. So with that said, very professional. The program works awesome. It's not perfect, but it works awesome if you're willing to put the time in. So the first thing we're going to do is introduce Stephen and thank him for his time. And we'll start off with the first question. And if you want to dive in a little more, Stephen, that's fine. The first question, we got a bunch of emails from our agents, is, has the lead program changed from 16 to 17? Is it basically the same platform? Are they more effective? Just kind of give us a little insight on anything that you've done on the back end there.
Thank you, Bill. Can you hear me all okay?
Yep, we can, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, good. Bill, thank you. Joe, thank you. And Ken, of course, thank you. And I thank all the agents for attending today. By the way, that announcement you made about Todd Ewing is fantastic. And I believe it works hand in hand, like you said, with a program like this for any of the agents that need a little brushing up, or even ultimately diving in to a program like this, because being able to be comfortable and proficient with e-apps and drop tickets is the name of the game today, especially with a program like this. Getting to this question, as far as what changes have occurred, actually not very much, and I think that's good. As Bill mentioned on the previous slide, the minimum orders have changed. The 12 orders that used to be are now 14. But of course, again, there's still 2 free leads. People who used to order 15 leads are required now on that level to order 17. But again, they'll be receiving the same 3 free leads, and anyone that's ordering 20 or more will be receiving the appropriate amount of leads with that also. And what's important is that this was a way to really hold down the cost, because like anything else in this world, there's rising costs due to a variety of reasons and factors. So by doing this, it was able to pretty much satisfy the bottom line, keep this still profitable for my gang, and yet not have any additional cost really for the agents of Levinson. If any of you are familiar what the cost of leads are out there in the open market, This is truly a value, and I've said this many, many times over the years on these webinars, um, especially because these are not internet leads, especially because these are not telemarketing leads. These are leads, once again, that are filled out by the prospect and physically mailed back to us. And that shows some level of degree of interest on the part of the people that you're calling with these leads. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Stephen. That was perfect. And Joe, if you can go to the next question here, and also Stephen, if you can mention, so basically the only changes as far as everything on paper and the data here, the only changes that were made is we also moved up the minimum order from 12 to 14, but we were able to keep pricing exactly the same. So that's always a plus, and still throw in the freebies.
Right.
Okay, great. Now, this comes up all the time, especially now. We have a lot of our agents that are building their own agencies or downlines using all of our tools. So we had agents, in other words, agents asking their upline or their agent or GA for a new agent that's using the program for the very first time. What can they expect from the lead program? If you could just give a 50-foot overview on from the time the agent receives the leads and making the calls, what kind of turnaround time, what sales are made from every batch, on the average. I believe it's 2 to 3. But if you can dive into that a little bit, just to give everyone a feel for the program, that would be great.
Sure. Thanks, Bill. I want to preface this with something important, and I guess it's a mindset, because I use my own experience, as Bill said initially, that this is a program I used for many years. It was extremely successful. Made a lot of conventions, had a very nice income, and really, it's the kind of thing where you have to put in your mind as an agent that I want to invest in my business, and that takes some money. Now, lightning can strike at any time, and I know Ken will speak to this as some of the experiences see that. But at the same time, and as Bill mentioned, there's no requirement as far as continuing on with this program. It could be a one-shot deal as far as what an agent wants to try. But my feelings about this is you need to give yourselves a fair chance. I'm not trying to generate business. I got plenty of it. But at the same time, you need to be able to perhaps in your mind say, okay, I'm going to allocate a certain amount of dollars, and I'm going to see how this thing works. And I'm not talking about maybe doing it in consecutive weeks either, because you'll always have leads that you can continue to call that you have been able to with follow-ups and so forth. So you'll stay busy from this. But over the course of, let's say, 6 weeks, order 3 times. And you will see the true value of a program like this. Absolutely. And again, I think Ken will speak to this. That being said, I'm going to take an example of an agent with some experience who orders 17 leads, which ultimately is 20 leads because there's 3 free leads with that. Okay. We have to assume a few things. That the agent is proficient with the apps, knows what he's doing with the apps and drop tickets. That he or she has good ability on the phone. And what I mean by that is this is where the rubber meets the road. You've got the exclusive time with the prospect when you call them, and you need to make the most of it. And again, Kent will get into his experience with this and how he deals with this. But you need to ask questions. You need to ask probing questions. And you have to be a good listener. You have to allow the prospect the time to talk, because that will create ideas for you and generate ideas for you, and of course, in the end, generate more premium dollars than just a mortgage fee. Okay? The agent also has to be very organized. He has to be able to follow up on these leads, because following up, I mean, you may hit one right away, and that's beautiful. But more times than not, the fruitation is the harvesting of a sale that's going to take more than one call. Okay? So you need to be organized. And the agent also has to be on top of the leads. In other words, from the moment he gets the lead Tuesday evening, let's say, okay, he starts calling. You know, don't let them sit there for a few days, because as Bill mentioned, there's other people that perhaps are getting those leads on other lead responses from the same people. Okay, these leads are exclusive. It doesn't mean that each and every person that's sending out a lead and we receive is the only lead that they filled out. Human nature, they figure, you know, let me shop around. Okay, so you need to be on top of it, and to the point that you've either written a business or this lead is just cold and dead, and bury it. Okay, but the reality is, out of those 20 initial leads, okay, I would say realistically, and I'm being conservative, and I think Kent will back me on this, is that out of those 20 leads, you'll reach maybe 15 of the people. Because some people you'll just never reach. They'll never pick up the phone, they'll go into the voicemail, their answering machine, or whatever, and they just, you know, you'll just never reach them. So it's 15 people that you actually speak with. I believe a good batting average, a realistic batting average would be five sales. Now, when I say that, I don't mean 5 individuals, because it could be a husband and wife. That I'm talking at 1 sale. But I'm saying 5 sales, 3 of which are, you know, reasonable sales, you know, 2 of which are larger sales. So I would say averaging it out to somewhere around each sale representing $750 to $1,000 of annual premium. Again, conservatively. You do the math. You invested as the agent about $300, and you're looking at somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000 return. That's not a bad return on your investment. Okay.
Let me just mention one thing.
Yeah,
All it takes is the one client, like Ken will tell you about, that you come across, and you hit a $15,000, a $20,000 annual case, and it changes the whole game, just like that.
Yeah. So, and I was going to say that the big bomb, and I want to tell you something. My experience, you will have more than a few. Now, I'm talking about consistently ordering leads. But over the course of a year, you will have a handful, if not more. And I'm talking about $10,000 premiums or more. Okay? And they happen. They'll drop in your lap. But here's the secret, the big secret. You have to be in the game to begin with to have any chance to have those opportunities. Okay?
Yep. All right, good stuff. All right, the last question here for Stephen, and then we'll jump into to Kent's part of the presentation. This question comes up all the time, and nowadays, I'll just mention this. I don't want to steal any of Stephen's thunder, but nowadays with technology, e-applications, drop tickets, you have to be good at selling over the phone to be successful in this program. Okay, and there's some agents we have that, let's say, are in Florida, Texas, California. They'll actually get a non-resident appointment in other states that are not so saturated, okay, and request leads from that particular state, and they do very, very well selling over the phone, even in a different state. Okay, I know one agent personally that's killing it, doing just that. But I do want to talk about this for a second, because agents will say, hey, I'm in South Florida, and I only want Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County. And I just want everyone to know the way this works is we're going to do our best job to fill those 3 counties. But it all depends on supply and demand for that particular week. Okay, and I'll let Stephen dive in a little more. But I think it's just important to make sure you broaden the scope a little bit when it comes to your counties and states requested. Steve, do you want to give some suggestions on this?
Sure. You really did steal my thunder. Thanks, Bill. No, what you're saying is 1,000% correct. The only thing I would add is, and this is something that we use our expertise. Our whole philosophy, our whole aim with this program is to provide every lead we can to each agent that orders the best possible quality. In other words, the mortgage amount, the ages, and so forth. And I'd rather send an agent, and we take this liberty ourselves. I'd rather send an agent, an out-of-town lead, a lead that's 2, 3, 500 miles away. That's an excellent lead quality versus something within his ordering area. That's, frankly, nothing that I see that's worthwhile. I believe it'll pay off. Again, I'm using the years of experience that we have in this lead program. So that's the trade-off. Sometimes you may receive a couple or a few more in the areas that you requested, but they're going to be, I believe, inferior leads. And, of course, nobody knows, after you contact and you converse with a prospect, what comes of it. True. But I'd rather have something on paper that looks a lot more enticing and a lot more appetizing than something that doesn't. So, but as Bill mentioned, I would tell an agent, if he says, how to order and whatever, just give me a state. You're in Tennessee, fabulous. You're in Florida, terrific. You're in California, wonderful. I'll take care of you. We will send you the best we can. You can certainly put in 2 or 3 counties that for based on what your desires are. We'll do what we can. But in most respects, and usually going back to those 17 lead orders that become 20, the chances are that 3/4 of them, 60% of them, in most areas in the country are going to be out-of-town areas. It's going to be some distance where EAPs and drop tickets are going to come into play. And that's it.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much, Stephen. Great job. We appreciate you. Okay, and we're going to roll forward here right into Kent's presentation. So once again, we want to thank Kent for taking time out of his busy schedule and sharing these great success stories with our agents. And, I told Kent before the presentation, and he is a pro at this, but let's, we don't want to sell our agents. We want to give the real. If it's good, bad, if it's in the middle, great. But we want, especially Ken, and that's why we invite him to do these, because he's out there just like you are, okay? So it's so important. And, and he's working the program. He was one of our pilot agents from the very beginning. So I couldn't think of a better person than Kent to join us on this webinar. So without further ado, we'll introduce Ken. And we'll start with just this first question here. He's been using the program for years since its inception. Do you look at rolling this out, Ken, in your plans for 2017? You're going to use this the same way you did last year? Are you making any changes as far as systems or the way you pivot or position each lead? Is it basically the same thing, or just give us a bit of your take?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks everybody for joining. I'll first say that I've always said that the LEAD program is one of about, I used to say 3 LEAD programs I use for my business, but it's really 4. And the other is because of the CRM tool now that Levinson's placed out there, which it has different options for us with regards to email leads. But my point is that this is a legitimate program that generates a lot of, I'm just going to, I think Bill appreciates my honesty, but it generates a lot of $20 a month deals. It generates a few $100 a month deals, and every now and then you're going to, you're going to get a triple or a home run. There's a couple I'll talk about in the next 5 or 10 minutes with regards to, large cases. But, my suggestion for the new year, which I'm taking myself, and I would say that anyone that's in this program should consider exploring where the housing market is booming. Steve, and you guys talked about jumping into different cities, but, put a strategy behind why you're going into Georgia. Find a city like Dallas, Texas, where I live. There's everybody's moving here for jobs. And the city I live in went from 2,500 people 12 years ago when I moved to that city. It's now 30,000 people. So guess what comes with people? Homes. Well, guess what this program is about? building homes, refinancing homes. So, put your thinking cap on. A comment that my brother and I were talking about yesterday, he's in telecom and has been there for 25, 30 years. They went to a leadership convention, and one of the speakers got on stage and said, the young people are taking jobs or management roles today away from some of us older folks because of what reason? And she says, because they think out of the box. We have a tendency to get into a rut and think that we're just supposed to get on the phone and make a phone call, when there needs to be a strategy behind why you're looking in the city of Atlanta, or why you're looking in Dallas, or why you're going to LA. Where are the jobs? Where are the homes being built to create the conversation to offer this opportunity? So I would challenge everybody to kind of think out of the box a little bit. If you locate a certain zip code in an area that's giving you average home prices, look at the average home price. If it's $500,000 a year, the average income is going to be much higher. So your average premium is going to be higher because you're selling larger insurance policies. And those people generate significant money and have high net worth, so their cash flow is higher, so you're going to have a chance to make your sales of more yeses in your sales versus the no's. So, Bill, that's what I kind of have as far as just get out of the box, everybody.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And the one thing Ken is really good at, and I've seen this with my own eyes, is you talk about some of these more successful homeowners and, let's say, younger professionals. Yes, the reason you're there is to talk about mortgage protection, and that was the initial card that was filled out. But bring up the question, hey, what about long-term care? What about some estate planning? What if you get cancer or disabled? Talk about critical illness insurance. There's so many different ways you can go with this. And again, turn a $20 a month, 20-year term policy into a $10,000 a year of commissions with 4 different policies that you sold them. So, it's totally up to you. One other tip I'll bring up, I heard this from another agent. What he does is, as soon as he gets all the leads, he'll take his phone out and enter the leads in his phone and send out a blanket text message to every lead to say, hey, I'm Bill Levinson. I'm your mortgage protection specialist that received your mailer that you sent in. You'll be hearing from me, within 24 hours. He said 20-30% of the time, he actually gets a text back saying, hey, this is the day and time that we can talk. So, I mean, what a great warm-up, and it's free. So it's just another little idea. Okay, moving into the next question, and I love this for Kent because, again, he turns these things into winners. I've seen him do it live at our expo last year, and again, let me also mention this. Kent and Stephen will both be at our expo March 31st, so a great time to say hello and network a little bit as well. Okay, so how do you open the conversation and start a dialogue on your first attempt? So when you make that first call, and sometimes the prospect says, well, how did you even get my information? How do you, and I know this depends on the client, but how do you typically open the door?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just go into kind of a script, and if anybody's taking notes or you want to speak to me, you guys are always welcome to call me. I'm a personable person, so happy to help. But you just want to say, hello, my name is Kent Sawyers, and I'm calling as a result of you completing and returning a questionnaire on mortgage protection for your recent refinance or purchase of your home. Do you remember sending this in? You kind of want to get them talking about it, because a lot of times you'll get, I didn't send that in, but you want to ask them the question. Make them say no. Make them say yes. Do you remember sending this in, or do you still have a need to discuss mortgage protection insurance? And I always get yes on that, because unless they say, oh, I don't, they may say I don't need it anymore or something, but at least you're cutting through the chase, you're getting to the point. But let me just go through that one more time. Hello, my name is Kent Sawyers. I'm calling as a result of you completing and returning a questionnaire on mortgage protection for the recent refinance or purchase of your home. Do you remember sending this in, or still have a need to discuss mortgage protection insurance? So once they give you that green light of yes, you know you're off to the races. And then you're going to say, well, great, I need to confirm just a few things that you sent back to me, your date of birth, your height, weight. You're going to go through all their detailed information. And then they're just going to basically get into some, questions like, do they take any medications? Why? Have they ever had heart disease, cancer, diabetes? And you need to have your quoting engine up, because you're going to want to engage in a conversation where you're actually quoting them verbally. But then their next question is the most important question of all. You're going, before you give them a quote verbally, you're going to say, before I give you a verbal quote, may I get your email address so that I can send this to you after we have a conversation, because you're probably busy right now and you're not going to remember everything that I tell you. Well, the obvious is that you want to send them an email, but the most important thing is you're going to connect with them from an email standpoint, and now you become their agent because you've got some glue. It's not just another agent calling on a phone call. It goes from a cold call to a warm call once you get that email address. So I would highlight to get the email address, because sometimes you'll get off the phone and you'll be in such a panic of getting the right message or asking the right questions, you'll forget something as silly as an email address. So highlight it, get their email address.
Yep, great point.
And then you're going to just finally close with, I notice your mortgage balance is approximately, $250,000, and, is this a 30-year mortgage or a 30-year note? They're going to say yes, or it's going to be a 15-year note. Then you're just going to continue to ask them questions. And back to what Bill was saying a minute ago, I would highly suggest that you ask them what they do for a living. And if you find out they own their own business, or they're a C-level person, meaning a CFO, CEO, or someone of a high net worth or you're going to want to dive into different questions, because they can afford more than $20 a month. They can afford more than $100 a month. Do you have any kind of insurance that protects you if you protect your company if you were to pass away? This is where you get into the buy-sell, or the key person life insurance. And key person life insurance is nothing more than life insurance, folks. So just know that this is an icebreaker, and that's what it's intended to be, is to get you to start asking questions and find out what they need to drive this from a $20 a month deal to a $30,000 a year deal.
Yep, which does happen, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So they're out there. And if you can say it with Kent's accent, you get even more brownie points. So I can take that note.
Hey, listen. hey, everybody, if I can do this with this old Texas, Oklahoma boy accent, anybody can do this, so trust me.
Yeah. There you go, Ken. It works for him. All right, we'll end with this. And I know you have many stories that you can talk about, but we'll narrow it down to one or two. Give us a couple of good ones. So can you share a success story that was a result of the LEAD program? Maybe give an example or two, Ken.
Sure. First, I'll make this really quick, but I'll look back at all the sales made with this program, and, I asked myself, what is the common denominator on the accounts where I was successful in mortgage protection insurance? And I would say, first, number one, I was I got on the phone immediately. I was the first to call them, and then I was persistent and very consistent with what I did, and then I never let the no's dictate my attitude. So that's kind of an extra in there, but I would encourage everybody to stick with those. And I was just willing to really do more when it was not required of me, because it's easy to say that guy doesn't, I'm never going to get him on the phone, but just go beyond, get out of the box. So the couple of success stories, number one, Bill alluded to it. I was out at the expo last year in a car with my brother-in-law driving from Tampa, landed in Tampa, was going to drive to the expo, and I had called on a person through the Mortgage LEAD program, and I spoke to her. She was the wife of who was the insured, and it didn't go well. It's just, everybody knows how it goes when it doesn't go well. So I got off the phone as quick as possible. The next day I decided to call back. And when I say it didn't go well, I was very aggressive. It can be very, that's just the way I do my business. So I learned right quick how I needed to approach it on the second attempt, and so I made the call. In other words, we connected on the second call. She didn't even know it was me that called the day before. If that's a clue for everybody, just keep making the phone calls. They don't even know that you called. And when they said no, they may have had a bad day. So just call them. They'll have a better day in 2 days later. So bottom line is that resulted in a $2,600 a month account. And I didn't say a year. It's annualized at $31,200. And that's real money. I mean, I'm still receiving that monthly. It's about $2,600. So happened to be a doctor, happened to be one of the high-profile cases that I was talking about earlier. And so once you get into this, the first policy we approved was $855 a month. And then when we started talking, they actually needed more because they were securitizing a note or a loan with their life insurance. Well, they needed, $6 million in insurance or whatever it was. So everybody needs to just ask questions. The second case, a little bit different scenario, a woman who I called upon who lived in a town about 10 miles from me. I actually went and sat around her kitchen table on a Saturday morning. I got there and there were 7 or 8 kids running around. I was like, this lady's either got a lot of grandchildren or something. So she explained to me she's a foster mom of about 8 children. And so every child that she had, she received probably $2,000 a month for taking care of these children. So she had cash flow. She lived in a nice home, a $400,000 or $500,000 home. So I basically sold her a permanent policy for $850,000, where all of these children could be the recipients or the beneficiaries of this policy. So the point is there is no magic. The magic, if I were to say there's any, is you, because you personalize your business, but you must understand that this is a real business and make it one, treat it like one. If you got to do the things that most agents don't do if you want to be successful in this business. So I appreciate everybody's time. Bill, Joe,
Yep, I love it.
you guys, thank you very much.
Great stuff, Kent. Thank you very much. And I'm the witness to a lot of this stuff. I've seen it happen. I've seen the excitement on Kent's face, and it's all out of a $252 investment. This is what it could turn out to be. So it works. Definitely worth a shot if you haven't tried it yet. So thanks again, Ken. Okay, we're going to show you a way to get these leads paid for free, and then we're going to give you a few lead examples. We have some scripts that we're going to go over with you. We'll show you that the new Agency Automator prospecting tool, which is just another way to fill your funnel of leads. So great stuff, and we're still going to end in about 10 minutes or so not too much longer. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So real quickly here, I'll go over the lead reimbursement program. Of course, the way this works is it doesn't matter when you order the leads, whether it's one that you ordered 3 months ago or last week. Basically, as soon as you order leads, once you write and place a policy that was actually one of the mortgage leads, we will actually reimburse you for the lead cost of each placed lead. So if you end up writing 1 lead or 5 leads, we're going to reimburse you that $18 per lead for every single one that you sell. So just a great way to get some additional money in the door and help pay for even ongoing lead orders. It's not uncommon for us on a monthly basis to send out, several $100 of lead reimbursement checks to just a few agents. So definitely a great way to, again, get those leads paid for, like Bill mentioned. I want to show everybody a sample lead. This is what you're looking at as far as the mortgage lead is concerned. A lot of these leads are going to have a borrower and a co-borrower. So usually husband and wife or partner. It's going to, of course, have the county, the full address, the mortgage amount. It's very important. Not every single one of these is going to have the mortgage amount, but most of them will. So, of course, if that's not listed on that form, just basically ask that client, by the way, what is the value of that note that you're sourcing for that mortgage? So they'll tell you right off the bat. Also, you'll see dates of birth are included, male, female, height and weight, smoker status, and then you'll usually receive 2 phone numbers. Of course, a main phone number, a cell phone number, and a lot of times you'll also see a work number as well. So a lot of great ways to get in contact with that client, but this is exactly what you're going to receive as an example of what those mortgage leads look like. So very easy to use. You can actually use them and put them right into that Agency Automator platform. So you can use that tool, like we'll go over in a couple slides, to actually set up follow-ups and different tracking methods to make sure you're keeping your name in front of that client. Some great lead resources we'll actually be emailing out at the end of today's call. We have a great piece, which is a mortgage lead program, frequently asked questions. So these are common objections that clients come up with, different responses that we've heard in the past and that other agents have sent in. So we put it all together on one sheet to kind of help you get your hands around that program. Just some great sales ideas and tips to help make more sales with this program. You'll also receive via email 2 different lead scripts just to kind of help introduce yourself to that client, let you know exactly what's been working for other agents in the field. So again, those will be emailed out this afternoon along with a recording of today's webinar. Bill's going to touch briefly on the Agency Automator tool. We've been working on this for about the last 18 months.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So just like I said earlier, another way to fill that lead funnel that you need to be working on day in and day out to be successful. So Agency Automator, we've been working on this for a little over a year. We launched it a few weeks ago. Couldn't be any more excited. And the reason why, and this works exactly like what we were talking about earlier with being organized, having a system. As soon as you get those leads, drop them into your CRM tool, which is the Agency Automator. And this will allow you to drip as soon as, like Ken said, you grab their email, you have their cell phone number, obviously name and address if they give you their address. Put them in Agency Automator. Even if they don't buy a policy right now, you're going to drip on them every month with a new e-blast or campaign or product information or article. And every single month they're going to see your name, okay? And they'll remember, hey, that's Bill Levinson, the mortgage protection guy that I told them I wasn't ready yet, but they're going to see my name and picture pop up every single month. So when they are ready, they're going to remember to pick up the phone and call Bill. So Agency Automator is a CRM tool. Okay, look at it like this. On one side, it's the CRM tool, and that's where you're going to put all of your clients and prospects and leads. You're going to throw them into your CRM tool. We have pre-made e-blasts and campaigns that you could use for policy review, scholarship, long-term care articles. I mean, we have hundreds. So you'll simply, you can customize the e-blast with your name, picture, phone number, website, and you're going to drip on those clients and prospects and leads every single month. It literally runs on autopilot. Then on the right side of the Agency Automator, that's where you're going to go to prospect. Okay, you'll be able to go in every single month and you can dial in the criteria. And you can say, hey, I want anybody turning age 65, male and female, in this specific zip code with this income bracket, and the system will spit out up to 1,000 names, emails, and addresses that fit into that criteria. So now you can go market to them, pick up the phone and call them, send out a mailer and e-blast, and then as soon as they respond once, you put them into the left side, which is the CRM tool, so now they're going to hear from you every single month. Okay, so again, a great way to market and keep your name out there. Now, can you imagine the way this works with 1,000 new prospects to market to every month, plus let's say you participate in the lead program once or twice a month? You will be on fire if you're using the system correctly. And we're here to help you, okay? So we don't want you to look at this and say, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to spell CRM. How am I going to use this thing? We have 2 live trainings every single week that you can dial into whenever you're ready, or call any one of our marketers here, and we will make sure that you are comfortable and you are up and running. Best part, free, as long as you're active with us and you're writing business, no charge. If you're brand new, you haven't written anything, we have a co-op price of $25 a month. So where else are you going to find that kind of pricing with 1,000 new prospects every month? It's not going to happen. So Agency Automator, a dream come true for all of us here at Levinson, and we couldn't be any happier to launch this to our agents. Okay, moving forward, another biggie for Levinson. This was launched initially a few years ago. our Lightning Term product. A few weeks ago, we launched the first level term Lightning product. So couldn't be any more excited. And for mortgage protection, this is great because you got to remember, when you sign up, you get a custom link, okay, that's custom just for you. So you can put it on your website, e-blast your link out. You can put it on your Facebook page. The whole point is to drive traffic. Your client clicks on the link, they run a quote, and they can see on a decreasing term product, which is typical mortgage protection, on the right side, a level guaranteed product. And they can say, okay, I want the level product or I want the decreasing one. They check a box. The e-application comes up with 3 health questions. The approval takes anywhere from 5 seconds to 3 days. No exam required, no nothing. Policy gets sent directly to your client within 3 days and comes with a free scholarship. So Lightning Term is a must for everybody. Double-digit renewals. These days, millennials, they don't want to sit with you at a kitchen table on a Wednesday night after dinner with the family. Okay, they say, hey, you know what, send me an email with the information. Well, you can send them an email with your Lightning Term link. They run a quote, sign up online. You do nothing. Everything is client-driven. So take advantage of Lightning Term. It's a no-brainer in today's fast-paced world. All right, Joe's going to show you our updated training calendar. We'll show you the new mobile app, and then we're going to end today's call. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So real quickly here, right on KerryLevinson.com, I took a screenshot of our upcoming training webinars. You can actually register for any one of these sessions right on the website. This will actually show you all the upcoming training sessions. A couple things I do want to point out. We did roll out an Agency Automator Plus platform, which actually allows you to recruit agents, build your downline, and even receive overrides directly from the insurance carrier. The training for those sessions are every Monday and Wednesday. You'll see them right on the calendar. Of course, Bill mentioned the actual Agency Automator training program. That's every Tuesday and Thursday. A couple great training sessions on Index Universal Life. We'll see here on the calendar in green. The next one is coming up on the 19th. It's actually called Demystifying Index Universal Life. We're actually partnering with an insurance carrier to show you how Index Universal Life works and how to actually make the sale to that Index Universal Life client. So they'll help kind of bridge that gap on that IUL product, tell you a little bit more about how it works, and really help you in those IUL scenarios. You can register for any one of those sessions. Go right to KerryLevinson.com and click on that training calendar. Like Bill mentioned, the mobile app is actually approved, ready to go. We're actually going through some final tweaks. Should be ready in about a week or two, but we've actually gotten approval through Apple to be on the App Store, also through Google to be on the Google Play for Android, so you'll be able to download it. Everything you can do on our website, including the e-applications, drop tickets, full quote engines, case status, online licensing, everything is available from that app, so you can track your cases in real time on any mobile device. So look out for that. You'll see an email again in about another week or two officially launching that app so you can download it to any smart device or cell phone.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Our second to last slide here, and then we are done, and we'll do the raffles here, and we'll announce the 2 winners. Just real quick, jot down this date and don't miss this day. March 31st, 2017. This is our annual live agent expo that takes place here in South Florida at our beachfront location. A great time to get away, especially if it's cold up north. You can hang out here, literally spend the whole weekend on us. Okay, on Friday the 31st, which also is Kerry, my father's birthday, we're going to bring in all of our top carriers, underwriters. We're going to have a keynote speaker from Tony Robbins that's going to attend and speak. We bring in a free dinner the night before for all of our out-of-towners, complimentary breakfast, lunch, snacks. Great time to network with over 200 agents and GAs from all over the country. The best part is free for everyone, of course, just like it is every year, but starting at just $15,000 of paid premium, okay, you can qualify for from 1 free night at our beachfront location to 2 free nights with round-trip airfare from anywhere in the country. Okay, the brackets are 15, 40, and 50,000. All products count. Okay, so a great way, like I said, bring the whole family down, spend the weekend in South Florida on us. Make sure you get that premium in for the qualification, even if you have not written anything with us. It's free for you. We take care of everything, but you really should not miss this day. It's built around you and new sales ideas, which is the name of the game. Okay, our last slide here. I know it's been a little long, but we're still under an hour. I appreciate everybody hanging in there. This is my little motivational speech for this webinar. As you know, I'm a huge motivational guru. I love Tony Robbins. In fact, our keynote speaker is his peak performance strategist coach. So he's going to be live on March 31st at our expo. So again, awesome day for everybody. And, you know, just like Ken actually said, it's funny he said this, I had no idea, but at the end of his speech, he said, you know, if you go out there and you do what other agents won't do, you will be very successful. And that's exactly what this quote is about from Tony Robbins. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. And boy, is that true. I'll tell you, in our position as an IMO, at your position as an agent or GA, we all have to go out there and make it happen. Do what other people won't do so you could be successful. Make this the best year ever. Okay, with that said, I'm going to introduce our two winners. The 100th registrant for today's webinar who wins a free brand new Kindle Fire tablet is Blake T. That's Blake T. And the free lead batch giveaway to the 150th registrant is Chuck T. That's Chuck T. Congratulations. Have a wonderful rest of the week, a great weekend, and good selling. Take care.